Over millions of years, the human animal has evolved to what we have become today, from many different past species known as missing links. This is made possible through the theory of natural selection. Over countless generations, species have adapted to their environment. When a danger presented itself, those that were most fit were more likely to survive, and therefore more likely to breed, than those that were not. Over long periods of time, those characteristics could become normal throughout the species, and then said species is more adapted to the environment that surrounds it. Over the years, these missing links have faced new environmental challenges that force them to evolve eventually into the Homo sapiens that we are today. Upright posture and variations in brain size is what differentiates the human species over time. As the different species evolved, the posture became more upright because of the axis of the foramen magnum, and the brain size increased, giving the brain more capacity for high-level thought and decision-making. Along with the new changes that came with evolution, which made the species be more fit for survival, came geographical distribution. The out-of-Africa theory states that we as human species all originated in Africa, and as time went on, we relocated to other parts of the world, such as China and Europe, and transitioned over to the Americas. As we settled, we began to develop different cultures and languages. The way we perceive things has to do with our culture and our personal biological structure. For example, violence in each culture varies as well as religion. We also perceive things in lenses such as language. With language, we have syntax, grammar, and metaphors, which all contribute to the way we perceive and convey ideas. Australopithecus afarensis lived mainly in grasslands and fed on plants. It relied mainly on its strong jaw as a tool, and was bipedal but may have lived in trees. Homo habilis is believed to be the first to use and produce stone tools. They also developed opposable thumbs. They primarily fed on plant matter, but also ate scavenged meat when it was available to them. The next missing link is Homo ergaster. They developed a much larger brain than all of its previous ancestor. They also developed more advanced tools such as stone axes and cleavers. The Homo ergaster migrated north out of Africa, promoting the opportunity for greater evolution. They lost all of their fur and were given the nickname of the naked ape, and relied on clothing such as animal skins to keep warm. It is believed they were the first to use clothing to keep warm. Homo erectus used stone tools that were perfected and were given the name Acheulean tools, with their signature teardrop shape. Homo erectus also had larger brains that were connected with the straight brainstem, which is similar to what we have today. They mainly occupied parts of China and Europe. This brings us to what we are today, Homo sapiens. We stand upright with a straight spine and our eyes move close together in order to see over obstacles and have a more distant view. We developed extremely advanced tools. We have developed a much larger and complex brain that allows us to have great abstract thought as well as many other powerful brain functions. Neanderthals were not a link, but relate to humans, and their existence overlapped with Homo sapiens. They were well adapted to the cold and had a perfected metabolic efficiency for their cold environment. Neanderthals were believed to interbred with Homo sapiens, which can be proved by looking into the evidence in our own DNA. This brings us to the human brain. Over these missing links, the brain became larger and more advanced. The brain is incredibly complex, and we are still just scratching the surface of its potential. We are given an amazing ability to mentally be able to think of and understand abstract thoughts, which has led us to have the ability of putting internal thoughts as well as our external stimulus together. and being able for critical thinking about anything we can see or imagine. This has allowed us to be able to produce art, follow religion, as well as understand and produce language. The brain also has the potential to compensate or even fix areas that have been partially or fully damaged back to almost what they were before the trauma occurred. We can also perceive physical events in many different ways through mental thought. With the powerful brain we possess, we can see that art, religion, and language have been key components for developing the cultures that we have today. Culture affects how we think and perceive certain actions around us and determine what are normal for that way of life. Norms are generated based on what a specific culture holds value in. For instance, violence is a great example. Some see violence as a condoned act and know that it must be done to live a proper life, while others see it as a very negative action, and those that do violent acts are punished according to their cultural beliefs. Religion is a huge part of culture. It is used as a way to explain everything in the nearby environment and was turned to for providing answers for questions that they had otherwise no way of explaining. Cultures in jungles or places with lots of diversity developed polytheistic societies due to the wide variety of animals and plants around them. They saw that this variety came out of many gods all working together to create the beautiful, varied environment around them. While in the desert, or places with few varieties of life, tended to develop monotheistic religions. This is because things in their environment were more similar to each other, and it makes more sense that one individual created everything. Art, the primary usage for our self-expression. Art developed out of abstract thought. The need to be creative emerged, and we turned to creating art. Art differs greatly from culture to culture. Everywhere used different mediums and styles, and used it for different purposes. Some art was used to convey a message, while others were used in religious ceremonies. And also, while others were just made to be aesthetically pleasing. One of the biggest things to come out of culture was the development of language. Physically, speaking language is made possible by the larynx located in our throat as well as our tongues. The larynx dropped lower down in our throats to allow more airflow and become elongated. This lengthening gives us the ability to make a much wider range of vocal tones. Language is made up of two parts, one of them being syntax. Syntax is grammar as well as the order that we put together our languages. Then there is semantics. Semantics is the vocab and the meaning. Vocab is all of the words that we speak, and meaning is what those words represent. For example, the word cat, as we know, represents a four-legged feline with whiskers and a tail. Homo sapien are born with the amazing ability for speech. Their young brains can quickly and easily absorb knowledge that make it very easy to learn how to properly form sentences, vocabulary, and what object or concepts that those words mean. The formation of language, which was made possible throughout culture. The formation of large groups forced the need to easily convey thoughts and ideas, which pressured the creation of language and led to growth of the neocortex. These four lenses, biological evolution, the brain, culture, and language, work together to create us. We are the unique human animal. We are Homo sapiens.